A bit of mixed feelings today, to be honest, because like in everything, like in life, you have good news, you have bad news, you have good things, bad things, things that are really heartwarming, and things that are pissing you off, but really a lot. Because what we saw yesterday was unacceptable. No, but seriously, maybe because I'm getting older, because I have a big archive of what happened and I can compare situations. I don't know, but what happened yesterday really, really annoyed me so much. Different things. So we have a lot of things to speak about in today's video. Put a maximum of like if you didn't yet. Continue to subscribe and also share your thoughts in the comment section. Ragazzi, we start. First of all, I'm sorry I'm late, but this morning, and I can't reveal too much, but there was a special meet and greet with Black and White members, GOFC members, with this guy here. It was really heartwarming. Seriously, seeing Juventini of the world that are there in a private session asking their question to Timo. He took all his time of the world to answer them. Was fantastic. Bravo, bravo, bravo. If I have more, I will tell you what he said, etc., etc. But anyway, it was really nice for me to see. That was the first thing, and that's why I'm late, because this morning I had things to do. Then, other good news. This morning it was an open training session where journalists, tifosi, were able to see their guys training on the field in La Continassa. The good news is that this morning we saw Conceição training hard individually, but still training hard and going full speed. So we are waiting for him to be back with the team. And I can tell you, especially if we are thinking again about the 3 times that we did 0-0 in Serie A, the support of everyone will be needed for this Juve to go back to scoring goals, to winning goals. So Conceição ready, not yet. There are really, really small chances that we see him against Genoa, also because it's again traveling to Genoa, coming back, and then there is also the Leipzig travel. So there are a lot of travels. The journalists are saying that probably he will be back on the bench against Leipzig in their home for Champions League, and I can't wait to see him back. And these are the good news. The bad news, unfortunately, is that Nicolo Savona, he was training, and at a certain moment he was complaining about an ankle discomfort because of a knock that he had in the Napoli game, and he stopped probably in precaution, so it's not a big alarming situation, but maybe we will monitor it, but maybe he will miss the game against Genoa, which is a pity because, again, we don't speak a lot, we don't speak enough about the start of the season of Nicolo Savona. What a guy. What a performance, game after game after game. If you're looking at the stats, the one that did the most crosses against Napoli, it was Nicolo Savona, but also defensively. If Kvaratskhelia is touching only 25 times the ball, it's also partially thanks to Nicolo Savona. Not that much that he's not touching a lot of balls, but especially because when he's touching them, he's not able to pass Nicolo, that a few weeks ago he was playing with the next gen. So grande Nicolo. So that's a pity. Hopefully nothing too serious. Unfortunately, and this, when I told you that this morning I had a heartwarming moment, this one really, really annoyed me. Adzic stopped because of muscular problem, and he will probably be out until after the October international break, which is annoying, seriously. A few days ago, we were speaking about him being potentially a player that could start his season with Juve officially, because he didn't start yet. He's a guy that really, really I appreciate a lot. I have a lot of beautiful thoughts for him. I can't wait to see him on the field. Kind person, ambition person, super motivated person, humble person. He knows who he is, he knows what he wants, and he knows what he needs to do for it. And these annoying things, it's nothing super serious that he will miss the entire season, but it's stopping the growth of someone. He needs to be strong, and we, Juventini, we need to be next to him. We need to be close to him. We need to be patient to give him the time to come back after that small muscular injury, and waiting for him to be on the field to support Juve. We will be there. So that was the annoying news for me. You know that I never wish any injury to any player from any single team. Then when it happens to players from our team, I'm even more sad. When it happens to a guy that can't wait to show himself, wow, it pains my heart. It really pains my heart. But we will need to be patient. So strength, Adzic, we will be there for you. Then the other things that annoyed me, because we have a lot of things to speak about, it was yesterday. It is unacceptable. No, but seriously, I was waiting for Atalanta Como, waiting for the Nerazzurri, Bergamaschi, if you want to call them like that, to see if yes or no they will be able to reach Juve in the ranking of Serie A at 9 points. I was waiting and I start seeing the first images, the videos, where it's raining dogs, incredible. And I had two thoughts, honestly. The first one was, impossible. It's impossible to play. Did you see the field? Did you see the field? Then I am not a weather forecast expert. I am not an expert of the field, etc., etc. But what I know is there is one rule. If the ball is bouncing, you play. Then that second thought that I had is, oh, I don't care. They will play. And you will see that they will play. Why? Because it brought me back to some thoughts I had when I was not a kid anymore, but I was already, and I have it fresh in mind, in 2000, where I saw Perugia Juve. The ball is bouncing slightly, but it's still bouncing, you play. And because we played, in 2000 we played. We lost the Scudetto because of that. Yesterday I have to admit that the referee did the perfect job. He understood that it was a disaster. He delayed it a bit to test it again. When he saw that the ball was bouncing, he said, we played. Then he tested it again and he said, it is impossible to play. They postponed the game to today. Fantastic decision. And no, because these games, first of all, it will ruin the entertainment for the people that paid to be there, but also the people that are watching in front of television, but also important because that weather is influencing a result. Maybe Como will win, maybe Atalanta, where in normal condition, I'm not saying that it's raining or not, but in these fields it's impossible to play football. It conditions maybe even your entire season, because 3 points for Como can save themselves from relegation or can bring Atalanta to Champions League. So correct decision. Then I go back in time where the correct decision was not taken by Pierluigi Collina, that a lot of people, also Juventini, are saying, hey, the best referee in the world because he was on the cover on a video game. Ragazzi, what are we speaking about? He decided to play in a field like the one of yesterday. A Scudetto game. Perugia Juve, where when you're listening to the Perugia players, they are telling you it was impossible to play. The conditions were absolutely not there to play. It was impossible to play. We lost the Scudetto. Because of us, we needed to do much better in the games previous one to that one. But anyway, we were there. If we won the Scudetto. And we lost it because of a field like that, where we lost 1-0 with a goal of Calori. I was young, but one of the first real things that brought me to injustice in football. I was pissed off. The other thing that really annoyed me was seeing our guys from the next gen sleeping on the ground of an airport in Trapani in Sicily. Disgusting. It is not acceptable. Absolutely not acceptable. And these kind of things could have been avoided. For what reason? You have in third division A, B, and C group. A is the north, where the teams of the north are playing. B, medium, and C is lower part of Italy. We were the only one that took the risk to say we create our second team. Every other team, they refuse. They say, no, we are not sure. Let's see. Let's discover. We took all the risk of the world and we paid the consequences also during lockdown, COVID, where we were paying the salaries of these players. We were paying all the investment that we did without having any return on investment because everything was stopped. Everything was blocked. Now, Atalanta came last year. They changed us from Girone A in the north, because Torino, as far as I know, is north of Italy, in the B Girone. That was much more difficult. And now Milan is coming, sorteggio, a draw. We are in the third, in the C group, south of Italy, which means that Juventus next gen, every time that we are playing away, take the plane. Really far distances. Sicily, Calabria, all these regions. It's a disaster. Then they were there. The plane was supposed to be there at 1 a.m. He arrived at 9 a.m. in the morning. Guys, it is not okay. I don't care, sorteggio, draw. We were there first. A bit of respect for Juve. This kind of situation can't happen. To see our players sleeping there, especially because on Thursday we play again. Now, these things are unacceptable. I don't understand. There is zero respect for a team that took all the risk to create it. And now that it's working, now that you have return on investment and the other teams are seeing, Milan, Atalanta, they want to join. And they have the favors, and we not. Now I'm pissed off. Anyway, that was for the first big part of the video where Beppe is complaining. Then I want to go towards something that I really want to applaud. You know that my favorite Italian sport page is Tuttosport, even if when I need to criticize them, I do, like I did for Kenan Yildiz, l'esame, the exam of Yildiz in the game of Juve Napoli, well, today they deserve standing applauses. Of course, I was pissed off. I would have loved that it didn't happen. But the reality is that Torino is on top of the ranking. It's not that much that front page, but the fact that they are speaking about Torino, that is first in the ranking since the 70s. Beppe was not even born when it happened that after 5 match days Torino was isolated alone on top of Serie A. Well, they dedicate their space, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, to Torino, which is totally correct. They are first, you dedicate a page to them. So grande, of course I would love that we start speaking about Juve in page 2, page 3, but we need to deserve it. And if it's not the case, well, put and speak about who is first and are doing really a beautiful miracle. While Gazzetta dello Sport, they don't care at all. They are speaking on Tuesday still about Milan, etc. You are now mine. And they are speaking about Torino on page 14. It's a bit, I think, disrespectful, according to me. Anyway, let's go back to our thing. Juve a secco, Juventus that doesn't score. If yesterday we made a video about the lot of different reasons, the papers were pointing fingers on Dusan Vlahovic. And I can kind of understand it, because he's the number 9 of Juve that has been subbed out at minute 45. But I prefer the pages of today that are looking for more reasons why we are not scoring. And indeed, today, I agree a bit more. If we are looking at the expected goal, is a disaster at the moment in Serie A. We are 18th with an average of 4.1 expected goals. It's a disaster. 4.1. Below us, Venezia. Below us, Monza is the last one with 1.9. We are waiting for Milik. And the question is, where is Milik? Well, Milik will also normally, it's planned like that, to come after the international break of October to at least start training with the team. So we will need to wait a bit. Will Milik be an important part of Juve? Well, it will be difficult to have him as an important part of Juve until the month of January, because he needs to come back, he needs to train again, and he needs to find his form. Especially because Collinet is one that is pushing, really pushing. So we will need to wait. That's why, in the meanwhile, we'll need to find alternatives. On the other side, and let's try to have again a smile, because today I want to have a smile on my face, we need to speak about the record defense, because if we don't score a lot, and it will come with time, calma, tranquilli, well, the defense is doing extremely well. Extremely well. If we are looking at the expected goals against, there, Juventus is 20th. I don't like that ranking. I would have loved to see that ranking in a different way. First, Juventus, because the goals against 1.8. To see a second team that is not conceding that much is actually crazy, but it's Como with 4.2. They conceded much more than they actually deserved. So Juventus creates the gap. We never concede. And we don't concede goals, and also they are not dangerous when they are facing Juve, which is something that we really need to say. Grande. Grande Juve, grande Thiago Motta, grande to Savona, to Bremer, to Kalulu, to Cabal, to Gatti, to all the players that were involved, but also the midfielders, the strikers that are giving support there. But one that we didn't speak enough about is Di Gregorio. Di Gregorio, that we didn't speak enough about him. Why? Because he had nothing to do, which is a bit disrespectful, but he had not a lot of danger in front of him. Well, on Saturday, when we play against Napoli, there is that save. And that's why we have one goalkeeper that needs to be fantastic. Alla Perin, alla Szczesny, alla Buffon, alla Tacconi, alla Peruzzi. You know it, at Juve being goalkeeper is really difficult, because we are known also to have a fantastic defense, always. Well, when you have that shot on target that can change you the game, you need to be ready. And Di Gregorio saving that ball with 2 fingers, not with 5 fingers, with 2 fingers, deflecting that ball that was about to be in a goal. Grande Di Gregorio. So congratulations to him, because that was a really important one. Then Corriere is going towards the problems of Juve. Triple D possible problem. Dusan Vlahovic, Danilo, Douglas Luiz. The questions of Thiago Motta. Let me know which one you're the most worried about on the 24th of September. Is it Dusan Vlahovic? Is it Douglas Luiz? Is it Danilo? Let me know. And then we go towards a recap of the new players that joined Juve in the summer. Di Gregorio is the one that is playing the most in terms of minutes and games. If we are looking at the 6 games played, he played 5 of them, 450 minutes. Di Gregorio, one big save to do, and he was present. Kalulu, 4 games, 284. It's a guy that is probably the one that we expected the less from. Bravo, Pierre. Continue like that. Cabal, of course, is starting to be a question mark because when he started, one game after the other, impressing a lot of Juventini, since the international break, he came back and we didn't see him anymore. I don't think it's because of him, but I think it was to find a way of having Cambiaso again as a left back. So let's see the development of Cabal, but can we be happy with what he contributed so far? Yeah, 3 games, 211 minutes, where he did quite well. Thuram, well, it's difficult to judge Kefren Thuram. Of course, we would have loved to see him 6 games on 6 being there in the midfield, but that small injury that is now behind us, well, limited him in the beginning of the season. But Thuram will continue to grow. Douglas Luiz is the question mark, of course. 5 games so far, 140 minutes only for the Brazilian player that we were all expecting to see as a starter, the one that would have changed the face of the midfield of Juve. According to me, it's not a problem at the moment, Douglas Luiz. But of course, he needs to understand Juve. He needs to understand Thiago Motta request and also what he needs to adapt to actually contribute to that Juve. I think that Thiago is keeping him, training him so that when he starts, he will be totally 100% ready. Of course, if he doesn't play against Genoa, Leipzig, Cagliari in this cycle of 3 games, well, we can start having more questions. But at the moment, I don't have that many questions about Douglas Luiz, even if, of course, I would love to see him on the field. Conceição, well, it's difficult to judge. We have time to judge him. I can't wait to see him back because, again, not only will reinforce the right side, but will probably also unlock a Nico Gonzalez to go up. Kenan Yildiz, why not, with Nico Gonzalez on the left? All these alternative thanks to Conceição. Then we have 2 other players. Cope Manners. Well, some people are saying that 60 million for him, it's too much. First of all, it was not 60. It's 52 plus bonus. But anyway, it was a lot. But I think that Cope Manners did quite good, quite well. Yesterday I said it. He still needs to find his position. But I think that we expect more from him, of course, because he's the AAA objective. He will get there. I'm absolutely not worried about Cope Manners. And then Nico Gonzalez, that of course we will all the time have that label of 38 million euro we spend and it's too much. Why didn't we keep Federico Chiesa? He will always have that. But honestly, except of the game of Napoli where he could have done a bit better, honestly, I'm absolutely not disappointed about Nico Gonzalez. And that was it for the video. So let me know, guys, the bad news, the good news, what you think about the new arrivals. We already spoke about Adzic. So dai, Vasilia. We count on you. Ragazzi, here in the chat, grazie, forza, Juve.